The following program is sponsored by Tropical Acres Steakhouse.
Hold the mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay, with shafafa on the side.
And cue the music. There we go. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another week, another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We're a little sluggish on a Monday. Defo Show in the Morning calls it a peel yourself off the mat Monday. I'm calling it a can I get myself off the couch Monday. It was another weekend of adventures, eating, gambling, all kinds of stuff. What did you do, and how was yours, Jeff Defo DeForest?
Good. I was a couch potato yesterday. I did a little walk of life in the middle of the day and then drank a couple of beers and essentially stayed put the rest of the day. Too hot to go outside even to the swimming pool.
Yeah, walk of life. If I tried a walk of life, I would turn into a puddle of death.
Well, I mean, that's the idea, right? Work off some of that crap that we ate. But
Man,
I did have a couple of dining experiences, albeit of a minor variety. One involving a place that had been mentioned and been under what I thought was unfair attack on Let's Eat South Florida, but I now side with the attackers. And another was just a happenstance, but I do have a recommendation for those who are in pursuit of the ultimate meatball, Mike Mayo. So a couple of teasers I've thrown out there. I don't know about Lubie. I sense that Lubie didn't do much over the weekend either, except deal with the dog.
I think you have dog tales for us, right? Can you give us the new adventures of Wolf?
So far he's been good. Saturday was a little interesting. My buddies came. He's actually Shirley. It's funny. Shirley had friends over in the morning. They went, and this I meant to talk to you all about this off the air. She went to get her colors done. I don't know if you definitely have never heard of it because my friends had never heard of it. It's something I guess women are doing where it's all over TikTok, where you go to this person, they charge you a ludicrous amount of money, and they put different colors on you, and they tell you what colors look best on you.
Like the hot or cool, or they match it with your
summer,
skin tone.
Winter, fall, and then
This is the dog you're having this done for?
my wife.
Your wife. Okay.
These are the only colors.
Not to be confused. Don't ever.
I spaced out there for a second. I thought, wow, why are you taking a dog to see what looks best on him?
There's hot summer, cool summer. I don't know. So I don't know. She went to do that. Her friends came over, and the dog was great.
Wait, was this like a party thing? Like a bunch of women come over and they match?
No, they left my house. They just met at my house, so they were around the dog. The dog was great around these women. They drove somewhere in West Palm to go do this. This woman charged them a ludicrous amount of money to be there for 7 hours.
Did she also read palms and tarot cards?
It's what it feels like to me.
Okay.
Maybe we're in the wrong business, gentlemen. Maybe we should be doing color readings for men and get them to get in touch with their true essence. I remember this as a thing a while back, like 10, 20 years ago.
I never heard of it. She was really excited. It was life-changing for all of them. And one of them just got married and her rings don't match her color. So now she's crying over that. I don't know. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. So
it's her whole wardrobe.
Let me anymore. Yeah.
Wait. Let me guess the outcome. The color match made it so that her whole wardrobe is wrong, and now she needs to go out and go shopping for an entire new wardrobe.
For Shirley, not the case. Shirley actually, she's a summer, so it's blues and pinks. So a lot of her are blues and pinks. She just
I'm blues and pinks too.
Yeah, exactly. She can't wear black anymore. I don't know. Whatever. So my point is the girls came over. The dog was great with them. My buddies came over later, and one of my buddy has two big dogs. And for some reason, Wolf, who's the sweetest, nicest dog, was not a fan of him. Like literally was like barking at him. Like he didn't bite. He doesn't bite, but he was barking at him incessantly to the point where I had to put him in the crate, even though we were home. So we're still working through stuff. We had the trainers over Friday.
Hey, there's some people that just have bad doggy karma. But
he has dogs, and he's a good dude. He's around big dogs. He was nice to Wolf, even though Wolf was not having it.
He didn't project any fear or anything.
No, he was confident. He was petting him. He then got down on his level. He did all the things you're supposed to do. When Wolf was barking, he didn't act, rough at all. He wasn't nervous at all. He handled it well. I just couldn't have my dog barking at him. So we had to put him in the crate. So that's something we have to work on. We did have the trainers over Friday, and they were very interesting. We found out that the dog had already taken over our home. So
Right.
we have to
know
work
that.
on that.
When's the second dog coming? That's
Nah, we're good. We're done with dogs. We have a dog and a cat.
one dog, one
Wait,
cat.
2 weeks, hopefully. we'll be-
Again, I'm a person that at one point had 2 cats in my life when I was married. Both of them perished, unfortunately, got older and then kicked off this mortal coil. But I haven't had a dog. I don't. How is the dog and the cat getting along together? This is always a subject of discussion amongst dog and cat people.
Getting along well. Shirley was scared to death of it because huskies are dogs of prey, quote unquote, because in the wild, obviously, they're big, strong dogs. But the reality is, he's the sweetest dog ever. At least he's scared to death of Cecilia. Like, Cecilia doesn't play around. She's not scared of him. She'll let him around. If she gets weird, she literally will slap him in the face. Will slap him, and he runs for the hills, which is fine. That way, it keeps them on a level playing field. They've gone along well. It's been good. We officially did adopt him this weekend, so he's stuck with us, and we're stuck with him.
And what I wonder also about when it comes to the feeding and the food, do dogs and cats ever get confused about what's dog food and cat food? Does the cat ever stray into? I know you separate them, but they know there's a delineation, or if they just smell something they like. Like, is dog food meant to put off a scent that repels cats?
It's food. It's all made with fish or beef or chicken. It's all similar food. They both would eat both, but we've separated her food, separated his food, and they've been good about it. The one thing we did learn from
Can they mix plates like I do with Defo sometimes and just reach into his bowl and take his cucumbers or tomatoes or whatever the case may be?
So far, they haven't. We keep the cat's food up so he can't get to her food, and she's really good about just eating her food. But he does have food aggression, we learned, because of where he.
I do too.
I was gonna say, when they said that to me, because he was getting the one lady, because he eats really fast. Like, he eats even worse than you eat, Mr. Mayo. Like, he wolfs it down, so which is not good for him, and it shows food aggression. So the lady was showing us something we need to work on him with, and he like barked at her, and I had like a flashback of Mayo yelling at someone when they were taking his plate away, and I was like, oh Jesus, I can't be mad at him if Mayo's doing that stupid.
I got to give you credit there, Lubie, because I've heard the word hangry, hanger, those kinds of things, but I've never heard about
the term
food aggression.
It's the thing, yes.
This explains a lot of things. So was Wolf a rescue dog?
Yes. And they found him out. So he must have been living on his own for a while, and he got used to trying to fend for himself. And that's what he had. Whenever he eats, he has this mentality as, if I eat really fast, I'll get more. It's like, I don't know, if you grew up in a house with
this indicates to me, now I'm no doggy psychologist, Defo, but just my layperson's reading of the situation is that Wolf was in a situation early on in life where he had to eat fast or he wouldn't get food at all. And now this is carried over to a more, a comfortable situation where he still just eats too fast. My own food aggression, I still am working on it with my therapist, who is, of course, currently retired, but occasionally I hear from him after. I think he watches the show and sometimes calls from time to time when he gets particularly alarmed about the way I'm eating. Defo, is this line of question fascinating to you? Because I think I've taken it about as far as it can go. What about horses and feed and food aggression? Do you think maybe that relates to the way they run later in the day?
That I wouldn't know. No, I had no idea on that. You lost me completely with this whole thing.
I am so ecstatic to finally lead you on an adventure where you're lost. So how was your weekend? I mean, I asked you that, but you ended up at let's hear about your food adventures. You were talking about a place that gets maligned by LASF, and now you agree, or what's going on here? I'm trying to follow along.
I had seen some complaints about this place, and I mentioned that because it's associated with a casino, I usually am eating my meal there for free. So no matter what, I would be reluctant to complain about it.
Is
You
it
could
one
look at
that's a
it.
sponsor we want to have on board as a sponsor?
I wouldn't mind having them on board as a sponsor. And actually, I was sort of a fan of the place. I always thought that the complaints were
Are we going to
somewhat
talk about it? Are
unfounded.
we going to name it? Now I'm scared. Go ahead.
No, I don't mind naming it. Myrons Deli in the
Deli.
Harris
Oh,
Casino. Yeah.
Well, I think all of the look. I would label that whole complex a WIP, a work in progress. They're tearing things down. They're building. There's construction. There's dust. There's parking lots are closed off. There's
No
garages.
excuse on that for what happened there. None. Zero.
So
Then
what
let's hear your story because I'm making excuses already. Well, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying everything is.
You're just afraid, and I had thrown in a little pitch for advertising there, but got no response. But it doesn't matter. That's not really the criteria here. I sort of was a fan of the place. I didn't think everything they put out there was sensational, but they had a really wide variety of things on the menu. They were serving breakfast all the time. They had dinner all the time, and I thought they did a pretty good job. Until this last experience, which I've noticed it had slowly been seemingly deteriorating. I saw some complaints about that. The people that are paying obviously feel like they're getting robbed. Those that are on comps are probably far more tolerant of mishaps with food coming out of the kitchen and maybe getting the wrong thing or ordering something and it doesn't come out the way they asked for it. But this last time I was there, they had reduced the menu, which had nothing to do with the construction that's going on because they've been not impacted by it at all. And the food that came out was absolutely horrid. I mean, almost inedible.
Well,
really?
Yeah.
let me stop you for a second. When you say they reduced the menu, in what
They,
ways?
they had,
shrunk the items in
probably,
half?
yeah, I would say, I don't know about half, but, there far less things were available. I don't know how you blow a salad.
Did you ask? Oh, okay. I mean, did you ask the manager what's going on?
There was no reason to ask any managers. I mean, this was one of those
Well, if you're going to be
situations
talking
where you
about
go,
it on a show,
I'm only passing along an observation, which was that when the people started trashing this place and saying, "Oh God, it's really gone downhill," and this and that, I tended to disagree and say, "Well, listen, I mean, I'm eating there for free, so how can I complain?" And I wouldn't complain, but at the same time, I did notice a very decipherable downgrade in the quality of what they were putting out, and it was sort of surprising because there didn't seem to be any reason for it. They've been there for a long, long time. I did notice the menu was a little smaller. That's fine with me. I still found the stuff that I was looking for. I don't know how you blow a salad. I had the worst salad I've ever had in my life there. Laced with your favorite word, hot
Bugs.
peppers.
Oh no!
When I mean, every bite that you took, you were on fire. Mustang had something she had to send back. Yeah, hot pepper was on an Italian chopped salad, supposedly, which looked nothing like what you would expect from an Italian chopped salad.
The stuff that I got at not Pizza Spot, but also Casa Calabria. Remember that beautiful hot peppers?
Oh no, it wasn't like that. No, these were like your regular hot peppers. Yeah, green, whatever they are, peppers. But that notwithstanding, then Mustang had something she had to send back, like a chicken sandwich. It was awful. Our friend Big Al was chowing down on something he normally gets, which is this open-faced turkey sandwich.
First of all, I got to stop you for a second because you sound exactly like the Let's Eat people. You're like, I don't complain. This is just an observation, and then you reel off a list.
No, but I'm telling you what I saw, Mike Mayo. I'm giving you an honest accounting. I've been a defender of the place, and I read the comments, and I thought they were misguided. I thought, well, okay, maybe they were looking for something a little bit more upscale or whatever. In general, you can get standard stuff there like a pastrami sandwich or corned beef. I think those are probably fine, but the other stuff that we had, the hot food and this, I mean, like I said, how do you blow a salad? I mean, have it be almost inedible by the way it was comprised. And
you send it back? Did you
no, I mean, what am I going to do? It's a free.
What are you going to do? You're going to say this salad is inedible. There's so
well,
many
Mustang had already had difficulty with her thing, so she was sending that back, and they eventually took it off the check, even though the check was a comp. They did bring her something else, which we took to go.
Ungrateful.
And that was, I mean, I've never, if you got a thing of fried chicken and it was so spicy, Mike Mayo, that after 2 bites, you were like, looking to drown yourself. I mean, just take a shower. That's how, hot this stuff was. I mean, so overdone with whatever hot seasoning they'd put on it, it became inedible also. And I was very surprised. But I don't know if that's an ongoing trend. It
Right.
seemed to
Well,
be sort of heading in that direction a little bit, but
I
I would
have
have to agree. If that was the only time I ate there, and this was 3 or 4 different things that came out, nothing like they were
and what
previously.
was Big Al's problem? What was his
His thing was not up to speed either. I mean, he had had the same dish before many times, liked it.
What was it? Do you know? Or you remember?
Open
Turkey.
faced turkey sandwich.
Open
Yeah,
face.
Hard to
which
mess up.
Was
very
great.
generous portion. Usually is good. Doused in a little gravy, mashed potatoes, the whole
Yeah,
thing.
standard.
And it wasn't the same. He said as it usually was. The only thing that came out, with its usual regular flair was the matzo ball soup.
Oh, that's
Right.
good.
But
And that's what I was going to, if I could give some comments and thoughts to your experience. Mine is this. I really don't play much poker anymore at the Isle or whatever they're calling it these days.
Harris, it's Harris.
They're doing this major renovation, reconstruction, and when it's all said and done, supposedly it's going to be beautiful. But right now, my experience is there as a poker player, and I come there from time to time as an eater. Both at Myrons, and again, all the choices have dwindled because during this construction, even before the construction and COVID, they've shut down the Italian restaurant, which used to be good. All their restaurants on the property used to be, I would say, good to very good.
Well, and they had a very, very popular and a good buffet. I mean, I wouldn't say
Yeah.
it was extraordinary, but it was very good.
It was fine. It was
Yeah.
good for what it needed to do, which was fill up bellies on a buffet line. And they had seafood night on Friday. That was very popular. And I'm
Yes.
going back 10, 15 years now.
It's not even that far back. It's like a couple of years ago.
And Myrons, I always enjoyed, and I always had good meals and good sandwiches. And I was always a big fan of their matzo ball soup at the poker table because it's much easier to eat a matzo ball soup at a poker table than a overstuffed pastrami sandwich. It gets a little greasy on the fingers.
Really, I would think just the opposite.
No, it's usually better to eat something with a spoon and a bowl that you can
get
put
the
into the
soup,
cup
and then the
holder.
guy sees your
I don't want
cards.
to show you the
No.
cards, I
They have
guess.
those cup holders right in front. So the way I would
Oh.
go, I just like stoop down low and take a spoon. Again,
The matzo ball soup was rated highly. I mean, it's not
good.
grandpa's, but
They
but it was
they
good, yeah.
use pre-made matzo balls, but it always comes out good. And I really like their broth. It's the one item that even through the years and through the downhill spiral that we've all been encountering and writing about, I still I'm willing to get the matzo ball soup there. But I have to, I will corroborate the account that you had and all the others have. It's just, and not just there, but I've heard reports about Faraday's. You say Faraday's is still adequate.
Okay, I mean, look, if I was going to a steakhouse and I was paying Faraday's prices, I would expect maybe a little bit more. I mean, once again, I'm coming from the perspective of, I'm getting this as a comp. So how outraged can you be if this stuff is not exactly,
Right.
the same as you would get at Morton's? But I mean, I think certain things that you get there are probably very good. But in general, I would not give it like a 10 on a 10 for that level of restaurant that they're trying to be.
Neil, let me ask you, okay, because it's funny, and Andy's joking because he's Andy, man, but it's actually an interesting point. As a guy who works with restaurants,
I was winning at the time that I made this assessment.
so he was in a good mood too.
Yeah.
He's still in a good mood. Okay.
So,
Feeling good. Yeah.
as a guy who literally judges restaurants and they take your feedback and they literally put it on the wall if it's good feedback, and they cower in fear if it's bad. We judge people who are critical all the time. Okay, first of all, if every dish is bad, what are you supposed to do with that if every dish is bad? Second, if it is a comp, should you lower your expectations? Because most of us do. Oh, it's free. Should we?
No. If it's
But
comp,
not
it should
everybody's
still be
on a
good
comp
food.
there.
It
Yeah.
should still be good.
Yeah.
The quality of the food has nothing to do with you're getting.
Well, and a
comped as a
restaurant
casino.
theoretically is there for the people that are
Exactly.
customers, and they come in and they pay whatever price is on the menu, which the prices there are reasonable by any standard of any deli that you would have here in South Florida, especially in light of the fact that it's in a casino.
So what I would do, Lubie, is again when everything is bad and it's confounding because you've had good experiences in the past, I would go and say, okay, just say something to the server like who's in charge now, who's the manager.
Everyone was already like confused enough by the Mustangs.
Well, all right, then I would
Sam.
at the front door. I would ask for whoever the manager is. All right, call me a Ken or a Karen. I don't give a crap what you call me because when something is all awry, not on rye, but awry, I want to talk to somebody to maybe there's an explanation and say, hey, what's going on here? I've been coming here for a decade.
And a chef called in sick
wait,
and that kind of
wait,
stuff.
no,
You always get that.
Let me finish. the manager might be saying, well, in the midst of this construction, we've had to downsize our menu.
That's what
and
I'm curious
we've
about.
lost some storage area, we've lost some prep area, and we've also I don't know, but I would just want to hear their explanation. There should be no excuse for a salad coming out
Yeah,
terribly,
it's a
but how are
salad.
they going to know that it's terrible if you don't tell them it's terrible? So,
Because that's
Well,
why
I mean, they don't need to know, in my opinion. I would never order it again. That's for
I'm not
sure.
trying
but that's not helping
Yeah.
anybody, and that's why I chide everybody on the group. If all you're going to do is say I'm never going back there again,
When you're 3 for 3 like this, I didn't say I would never go back there. I mean, as long as they're going to offer me free food, I'll attempt to find something that's satisfying.
well, then you're
And
the worst of the worst. 'Cause
like I
you don't
said,
want to
that-
give them the feedback so that they can know that they have a
there
problem.
was, you know what? It was so chaotic, Michael, that sometimes, the feedback thing, I'm not going to stand there and make a big stink with a manager after I've already eaten. I would just have to say that I would agree that they need to address this. And they're probably, I'm not the only one that is feeling this way, I would imagine, because
Mayo.
they can look on Let's Eat South Florida and see the comments that a lot of people made.
Well, that's the thing.
Can I just replay? Andy just chimed in on the chat line saying Myron just called. He said this is a witch hunt. So,
Look,
Well,
not-
I mean, it could be a hoax. It's possible that
it's
I
not
just
a
was
hoax.
fed
It's a
food
witch
by
hunt. You're
by
persecuting
an,
poor
I
Myron.
mean, a weaponized, food industry here that was trying to get me. But no, I'm not one to normally complain. If my salad had been lousy, I would order a different salad next time I came. If it wasn't already a problem, the server wasn't necessarily the most adept and fluent in English. She was having trouble understanding what was what the problems were. And, she was very good about it overall. But, we got the feeling that they were kind of tired of substitutions and this and that and the other thing.
Something just hit me late. Did you say you ordered like an Italian salad at a Jewish deli? I mean, here you go. Was this ordering wrong again, or what was that?
No. I mean, you could put up all your stuff. You're not listening, Mike Mayo. That's your problem. You're not listening. I'm saying that I have gone there before and had quality salads. Not something like you're thinking, oh, well, geez, I would run back here to have their salads. But I've been served salads there, and they were all fine. They had a variety of different ones. I decided to try one of the other ones because they had limited the menu. They had less choices when it came to the salads. And this particular one, if that's the way they make it, it was horrendous. It really was.
Well, here's
I
the
would say you need a new place to gamble. That's,
Well, here's
that's
the
what I'm
thing.
gonna
Well, no,
say.
he's allowed to gamble there. If they give him free food, he'll take it. But I'm not even judging Defo because I would do the same thing. I would go.
It's not a question of judgment. This is you asked me my opinion on the thing, and I'm telling you that the Let's Eat South Florida people who were bitching about the decline in
right.
quality, I think we're onto something. And
Right.
I would have normally said, "Hey, listen, you freebie artists, quit complaining and crying."
And then you're
And yet there are people that pay. They didn't have so many items that they were famous for, I believe. Also, I think they took their big hot dog off the menu and some other stuff, which a lot of people like. But in general, I mean, outside of the sandwiches, which we didn't have any of that stuff, pastrami or corned beef, everything else
Yes,
they
why
served,
would you get that at a Jewish deli?
everything they served. Yeah, but I mean, you keep wanting to make it a thing about me. You're
No,
not
it's
listening
not.
at all.
It's not. I'm just playing with you. I agree
Uh,
with you. I think it has gone downhill. I think everything in that
But let me
whole
ask you,
complex has gone
because
downhill.
I agree with Defo, and I normally.
But this wasn't a construction issue, I don't see, because that
You're
section
just
of the
surmising
casino,
that. It could be. There are things you don't see or know
There's nothing going on there, though, that would force them into
that
a
you know
situation
of.
where
You
the
didn't
stuff
even
was
try
so
to
bad. No.
ascertain or investigate.
Your
That's my
experience.
issue.
I don't need to. I mean, what I'm telling you, we had
you're
3
making
dishes,
proclamations without all the
four
facts.
different dishes served to us, and they were all horrendous.
Your
Absolutely
experience,
horrendous.
Mayo, because you work, because Defo and I are on the same wavelength. I wouldn't want to bother them. They must know. In my mind, I would say,
Right.
they must know.
And who
Was
am
it
I to be
empty?
complaining? Right. I mean, I had a comp for the whole thing. So
Was
what
it
am I
I'll
worried
empty
ask
in there?
you, Mayo, and I'll ask
No,
you.
no, wasn't as crowded as it usually is on a Saturday.
Okay.
And there were many people there because they had this giant drawing and giveaway. So the casino itself was packed. And I would imagine the people in the giveaway probably are fairly high up on the, because they had a lot of entrants. They probably have, high status on their customer card. And, probably would have been entitled to freebies at Myrons also. But it wasn't that crowded.
My point is this. I'm actually just like Defo. I don't want to make a stink. I don't know, whatever. But I would be the first person, if someone asked me, I'd complain because you're asking me. I'm going to be honest. But you do work with restaurants. Doing the show, I do take what you say valuable because I do want to be a better customer, right? we blame the restaurants, but we also make fun of the customers as well. I personally would like to be a better customer. I don't want to just complain wildly for no reason. You work with these restaurants.
Yeah, what are they going to do? Comp the comp that's already comped?
Well, that's the thing. No, but
beggars can't be choosers. I guess you can look at it that way.
Already freaking free. Yeah. But you're saying even when it's free, there should be standards. You work with these restaurants, right? They supposedly want the feedback.
Yeah.
In your mind, they would be open to this feedback, and you think it would actually matter because that would
it's not even feedback.
I couldn't see it going into 10 Palms under the auspices of the great Joe Beja and ever having an experience quite like that.
No
way.
Where
you're literally were like asking yourself, as much as you wanted to try this fried chicken, which I had there before, where it had been seasoned to the point of literally being inedible, and it wasn't like Mustang said, "Hey, make sure that this thing is as spicy as you can possibly make it, so that you'll have to drown every bite down with a gallon of water." So it was unusual, very unusual to have something come out
and my
that
only point is, I'm not even going to give feedback so much as saying I'm going to ask a question of them is, what the heck is going on? It's been good. I liked coming here for years. I've been hearing that it's been slipping, and now I just had this experience where everything served to me was almost inedible. What is there? Is there something going on that I'm not aware of, or what's happening? I would just, as genuine curiosity, and that's, I guess, my natural, reporter instinct.
Well, you're an investigative food reporter. I'm just a customer that would have thought.
But I'm no longer anything. I mean, I'm just.
I would definitely
guy.
not. I mean, after that experience, if I had paid to go to the place, my answer would have been, I don't care what they do. I would never come back here.
Let me ask you this: if you went to, let's say, you go to a live teller, and every time that you left that window, there was a mistake on your ticket, they constantly got.
I would hope it would be one that went in my favor.
But would you say something to somebody at some point that this person is completely screwing up every
guy
ticket?
For being incompetent. They should know that if they're managing the place well.
That's a problem.
Yeah. How would they know that if nobody?
Because they're supervising. They can see what's happening. They can see dissatisfied
but if you don't
customers.
Say that
they can see that this is
ticket.
Another sandwich that was being sent back while the person was sitting at the table, and it's happening all over the place.
So you would go back to the window and cancel all of the tickets that you wanted, really the three.
Well, now with that same teller, no, I would go somewhere else. And there was a guy that I dodged like the plague. You probably remember the guy at Gulfstream. He was an old guy, and he couldn't hear and he couldn't see, and he was irascible, as you tend to be in certain circumstances. And then, you would go to the window there and bet with the guy, and he always punched the wrong ticket, and then he would scream at you on top of it.
But why would I avoid him? That would be the only way I could possibly cash a ticket.
Well, it might be a way to break, change your luck.
Ticket.
Yes,
and that's the old racetrack superstition. Don't ever cancel a mistake ticket because sometimes they come in.
But and with certain guys like this old guy, who I would imagine he's no longer with us, it would be very costly after a while when you got every ticket wrong. When you're sitting there going to cash your tickets on the 5th that you just won at Gulfstream, and then you're looking, it's Louisiana Downs, and you're like, what? I said Gulfstream. What are you going to do? Go back to the guy and throw the tickets in his face?
Meanwhile, how great is this? We've already chewed up a half hour, and it just flew by. I had no idea that.
Well, you have your way of dealing with this stuff, and you're not wrong. I mean, how is the place going to get better if you don't give them some feedback?
I don't even want to get better. I just want them to know that the reason why nobody is going to be coming back and avoiding it like the plague is because you've got some serious problems, and you would hope that they realize that from declining revenue, but they don't know on the day-to-day that something is terrible unless
here's the other thing,
them.
though. Here's another situation. When you're in a place like that, okay, it's a casino restaurant, and there's already confusion going on. Like you can see, the servers are, they're quacking at the managers, and they're saying, yeah, don't worry, I'll get to it. You can see like these side conversations sort of away from your table.
Yeah.
And you can see there's tension and there's chaos and there's stuff that's coming out of the kitchen. They're all looking at it like with that Mayo look. And, so what good is it going to be for me? An already beleaguered staff and manager is going to hear me now after the fact go, hey, you know what? This place really sucks. No, just go. Lose your 40 in the machines on the way out the door and get your car. That's what you do.
So I think the
am I going to turn Myrons around? I don't think so. By bitching about
Ellen Free. We're talking about Myrons Deli at the Harrah's/aisle.
But there had been, I don't know if it was multiple, but I had read a thread there about Myrons, and like I said, it was a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, the person was paying, so I understand that they had a little more legitimacy to their complaint. But I thought, in general, what are you complaining about? For the most part, it's free food. So
And
but you're expecting a certain level of competence and quality, and it had been good in the past. I
and
I
yet
usually
you
was
will be
satisfied there.
back at that same location, plunging
Oh
your
yeah,
guts
yeah, but
out
I
next
don't,
weekend
I'll never
because,
order the Italian chopped salad again. That's for
again,
sure.
Italian chopped salad at a Jewish deli. What could possibly go wrong?
But it's more
Sounds-
like a diner type deli than
I know what it is.
They make a lot of different
You don't
stuff.
have
I
to.
mean,
You're right. The salad should be coming out edible. At least that's
you
my
would think at a
minimum
Jewish
standard.
deli the salads would be maybe. I mean, you would expect a certain level of
What
quality.
was the
right?
chicken sandwich called?
Aha. Ellen, the poker dealer, agrees. She says she just sticks to their matzo ball soup these days too. Everybody is just down to the matzo ball.
That you
soup,
can't go
so-
wrong on a matzo ball soup.
And it's
People are going to
good.
be firing matzo balls at the help.
I'm a
pretty
big
soon.
soup proponent overall, even at the poker tables. It's easy to eat at the poker tables. You don't get your fingers dirty, and it fills you up, and it's cheap. It's like usually, you get a sandwich, it's $20 or $16.
Cheap
The
wasn't an issue here.
They
though.
still get $5 or $6. For me, it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Especially when I'm gambling these days. I am not
Oh, you
doing
don't want to
well.
add to the tab. I understand. Look, we took care of the server. We greased her pretty good. I mean, very generously for what we had and the experience that we had. And, went into the night hoping that the next experience will be better. I don't know that lobbying the manager after we were leaving was going
Not
to
lobbying.
change.
It's not lobbying. It's just asking, like, what's going on? Is there something I don't know about? I can't see. Why is it all of a sudden
I felt at the
taking this
time
shift to the
they were
south?
Michigan enough that they didn't need another person piling on because there's a famous server there named Jackie, who everybody requests, and she's great. She's an older lady, and you just love the fact that she's still out there hustling. She does a great job. She always makes for sure you have your drinks right away. She can even anticipate things that you order. And she was getting, she was in like some kind of tense
bit flummoxed
conversation
or
there with the
flummoxed
managers.
or-
Yeah.
Look, and when that, like you noticed, there was all kinds of bad energy going around. It means something's going on behind the scenes. It's
Something
not
was
usually
happening. It wasn't
good.
good. The kitchen wasn't doing well.
And I usually tend to try to avoid those situations. Now, we have a hat filled.
Yeah, how
with
many people? got this
11.
thing?
Again, another chalky victory. I'm going to do it after the break, but I just want to mention that at 10 Palms, I have not heard nothing but pretty positive feedback of the job they do at the Sunday
They do a great
brunches.
job. Yeah.
And at the regular, any day they're open when there's live racing at Gulfstream now. All those lunches that we had on Friday, man, that fish was so good. And
That was great.
and of course,
That was honestly light years away from what I was experiencing there at Myrons in terms of preparation, presentation.
yeah, well, there's
I
a
mean,
reason
it
why.
really was good. I actually was thinking I wish Joe Bezier would come in here as a
Honestly.
consultant
Honestly.
Well,
because
I don't think
he would never have a day like that.
there's some
Never.
exclusivity clauses that when you work for one casino corporation.
But
or
I'm just saying
racetrack,
that
yeah,
it's
no, of
possible.
course he would elevate it. We love the
Yeah.
guy. Every other week he's getting a new title and a promotion. Soon he's going to be running the whole.
He's going to be
track.
running Harris.
He's
going to
you're gonna see him like up top that Pegasus statue, like shining it up and getting ready to.
He'll be riding Pegasus. Yes, exactly.
riding Pegasus. Joe's on his vacation now, his daddy-daughter trip. It looked like they had a great time at the Yankees-Orioles game on Saturday night.
There was
And,
actually a chant arose from the back of the room there, and people were chanting "Beja, Beja,
like
Beja."
Reggie. Now they chant Beja. I missed the hamburger thing on Saturday with regrets. I ended up having a very late night on Friday, and I was just too wiped out. But hey, you know what? A couple of people did chime in on the Let's Eat group for this weekend about one of my favorite places. We were there last week. We got treated and feeded to unbelievably good food like that prime rib and the twin lobster special. And I see a couple of people went out and ordered just that over the weekend at Tropical Acres. Man, the Studio Alley family, they do a good job. And every time people go out there, look, it's not the shiniest new toy. It's not the place that you're going to take all your, friends that are into the Instagram, TikTok scene. But it is a place that you're going to go to get a great value service.
What we say, Defo's been to Myron, so you can assume certain things when you've been to a place a bunch of times and they were off. What's great about Tropical Acres, you can feel free to assume that you're going to have the experience you've always had because
the consistent experience is what they deliver. And you know what? If your steak comes out underseasoned, overseasoned, overcooked, undercooked. All you do is just flag down your server and they're happy to make it right there. That's one of the things that Tropical Acres is known for. They want to be in the hospitality and pleasing people industry. So I urge people that when you go there, if something is not to your satisfaction, speak up at the time and they'll make it right because they have the ability and means to do so, and they will. I love Tropical Acres. You will too. 2500 Griffin Road, just west of the airport, 995. Today's Monday. You know what that means, Defo. Ding, ding, ding.
Half price on the wine, man. That's a
Price
great deal.
wine night. You go
great.
in there.
I think about it. I may have to just take the Mustang out there tonight and make amends for this thing that happened at Myrons. She was more upset by it than I was. That's for sure. Because
you would be able to do it for just, frugally, because you can get that $39 Twin Lobster special. You get a nice piece of prime rib for $36, and then you get the half price wine for, let's say, $21. You're out of there for $100 plus the tax and the tip. I mean, you can't get that kind of deal at any other steakhouse, and you're talking quality stuff here. So I love it. Go there. Happy hour in the bar 4:30 to 6:30 with the half price drinks and the light bites. They got the early bird special in the dining room 4:30 to 5:30. They've got the loyalty reward card. Every 12 entrees that you purchase, you get the 13th one on the house. There's so many reasons to go to Tropical Acres, and if you haven't been there lately, what are you waiting for? We love them. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you.
See, and Jack Studielli is on top of things. That's you could tell that just from that arrangement that we had with the special
So is
lunch.
Joe and Jackson,
Yeah.
anybody, all the whole
They
family.
don't
I mean, the whole general, philosophy of the restaurant is, let's make sure everything is right, which is great. By the way, that piece of prime rib was the best piece of prime rib I think I've ever tasted. I've been to a million bar mitzvahs, and I never had anything close to that. Leonard's a great neck, which I think you spent about $50,000 in. And what year was that? Like 1980?
It wasn't me. My oldest brother, rest in peace. His bar mitzvah in 1972 was at Leonard's, a Great Neck. Mine in 1979.
Did you have the prime rib, or did you
was
go surf
Temple
and turf?
Shalom of Flatbush. Yes, there was prime rib, or what do they call it? The not K-Pock, or what's the Cornish hen?
Cornish hens.
Cornish hens, yeah, that's always a cop out at
Cornish
a
hen
banquet, yeah.
or
Who
prime
wants
rib.
this little tiny chicken, man? Why don't you
I
just
like
get
the
a-
little tiny chickens.
Get a
They're so
freaking
cute.
pigeon, yeah.
But there's no meat on them. It's such a
There's nothing on there, man. It's sparrow.
Oh,
They should call it the Cornish sparrow. All right, no, Tropical Acres is great. You can't go wrong there because that they're a restaurant that demands, I mean, the highest and utmost in terms of service and quality food from their people. Every single meal that goes out there, you could tell Jack and his people are involved in everything. There's no way that they could slack off like that and have a night where every table is chaotic. All right, coming back with more here, Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Surprise meeting yesterday also. I don't know if you heard about this, Mike Mayo. It involves your personal life. So I'll unveil that.
Well, I don't know if we're allowed to discuss my personal life, but I did hear about this. No, about a friend of yours who went out to dinner with a friend of mine last week, right?
Nice.
In the building industry, a builder.
No, that's
Nope.
not it.
All
This
right.
happened last night, and
Okay.
it involves somebody that's very close to you that you probably shouldn't discuss. But I don't think she
All
couldn't
right,
possibly
well,
mind
we'll
this. Yeah.
compare notes after the break, and we'll also.
Now
pick-
you're nervous. Now you're a little nervous. That's good.
Yeah.
always nervous.
All right, back in a moment to turn Mayo's face red.
Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasto platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. This August, Visit Lauderdale invites everyone under the sun to indulge in the annual Dine Out Lauderdale promotion. This year's options will be more diverse than ever, with fine dining restaurants, casual eateries, and even your favorite cafes and ice cream parlors part of the mix. From August 1st through 31st, scores of restaurants will be offering multi-course meals at discounted prices starting at just $45 per person. Diners can also enjoy sweets and treats, brunches, happy hour specials, and exclusive culinary experiences. This year's lineup includes 3030 Ocean, Foxy Brown, and Lasso Gaucho in Fort Lauderdale, Even Keel Fish Shack and Aruba Beach Cafe in Lauderdale by the Sea, Cafe Max in Pompano, The Cook and the Cork in Coral Springs, Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors, and more. Restaurants are being added by the day. For the full Dine Out Lauderdale lineup and all the details, go to dineoutlauderdale.com. We're back here on the Lunchbox. We're at home on a Monday. We're going to be doing some remote shows later in the week, including in conjunction with the Dine Out Lauderdale promotion that begins tomorrow. August 1st is already here. August 1st through 31st. It's going to be a great time for diners and restaurants in the greater Fort Lauderdale area. Wednesday, we're going to be going out to Union Kitchen and Bar. It's a really neat place, husband and wife owned. It's in Wilton Manors. They have a great wine list. They have a great bar. They have great food. They have a nice courtyard area for when the weather gets a little bit cooler. And Union Kitchen and Bar will be there on Wednesday. They're open for dinners only, but they're opening up shop for us, as
Nice.
places are wont to do, because they want to get the word out that they are taking part in Dine Out Lauderdale. And you should participate too. Go to dineoutlauderdale.com or visit lauderdale.com/dineout. And you can see all the great restaurants that are going to be taking part. More than 100 in, I think it's 18 or 19 cities around the county.
Wow.
Not just places like Fort Lauderdale and along the beach in Las Olas, but like Union Kitchen and Bar in Wilton Manors. And then up in Lubie's neighborhood, we've got Bravo Peruvian Kitchen is great,
Yeah, good job.
along with Cook and the Cork. Places down in Hollywood and Dania and all kinds of things. We're going to be talking up the merits of the promotion, because it's not just the multi-course meals going for $45. It's also places like Jackson's Ice Cream Parlor, where we were last week, where we got those great kitchen sinks for one. I call it the solo sink, but the first time it's ever going to be offered, usually you have to go in there with a group of 4 and spend $70-$80 on a kitchen sink. No, now with the Dine Out Lauderdale promotion, you could go in there and get yourself a kitchen sink for one for just $18.95. And I'm still eating the one that I have in my freezer. I brought home a little bit. It was great stuff. Again, dineoutlauderdale.com. Check out all the great deals. It's not just the upscale restaurants. It's for everyone under the sun, including the cafes, brunch spots, dessert places too. It's going to be a great month, and it starts tomorrow. Okay, let's get to the contest before you get to embarrassing me with who knows what.
No embarrassment. On
Okay.
this one.
Well, here we go. Let's do this. We got 11 in the hat. We've got a couple of previous winners. We've got a couple of people that have been in hat.
What was the
numerous
name of
times.
the restaurant? Peruvian.
Oh,
food?
yeah. So let's go over the details here. It was Itame. Itame restaurant
Itame.
was the
All right, would have never
Peruvian
gotten it. Never.
Nikkei restaurant. A lot of people did get it.
Yeah.
Again, because with the Google machine, if you just Google Chang Gang,
Oh, yeah.
it would come up pretty easily
Okay.
and very well regarded.
And these
family.
weren't people who were trying to win a freebie meal, which is great.
And so we've got Itame restaurant, and then it was your horse that we gave out. Beach Ready was the chalk.
Beach Ready. Okay.
Beach Ready, number 3, won our feature contest race on Saturday.
Have you ever felt
and-
it was too hot to go to the beach?
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Michelle went to the beach yesterday. She said
I
it
never
was
thought I
so
would see
hot.
myself say that. Yeah.
She said she burned the soles of her feet when she was walking back and forth from the sand to.
Oh, jeez.
She goes up to lunch at one of those places, but yeah, it's to me it's too hot to leave the house. I don't know how I have a tan because I really did not leave the house all
Looks
weekend.
like you've been in the pool all weekend.
Yeah,
It really
so-
does.
All right,
Yeah.
we've got 11 slips of paper in the hat here, and I'm going to pick out one now. Oh, you know who's in the hat? Green-eyed girl, Judy Jarecki, is in the
Nice.
hat.
Has she ever won?
She
No,
has
no,
not. She has not won yet. I'm kind of I'm not allowed to pull for anybody. I'm just pulling names out of a hat. Here we go. Let's see. We got one slip, and the name on that one slip is it's a past winner, Barbara Klein.
Oh,
I,
wow.
I don't
All
I don't mean to be disappointed. I do want other people to get a shot, but
yeah.
she followed the rules. She picked the winning horse. She got the winning restaurant, and it's been more than 3 months since she won
Good for her.
previously.
Congratulations,
So,
Barbara.
Barbara Klein, congratulations. You are going back with a guest to 10 Palms for a great Sunday brunch. And yeah, I have a bad poker face. I mean, I'm always rooting for kind of first timers to get in there, but congrats, Barbara. You follow the rules and everything is good. And but you know, one of these days, Judy, green-eyed girl.
There
you
are
will-
more restrictions on this than trying to get the Republican nomination for president. In terms of
that's
the
for
rules.
sure,
So,
'cause
so it's more
apparently-
than fair. Yeah.
Apparently there are no rules.
No,
Like
nothing,
anybody is
Doesn't matter.
eligible at this point. But we're not going to get into the politics.
Manson was still alive. He'd be running. I mean, you know.
All right.
just-
You start first because I will tell you my
Well, it ties
brush with
into a
somebody-
couple of things. Okay. I mentioned search for the ultimate meatball.
Okay.
I could make a case for the meatballs that are served, and I believe this is Sundays only. That it's on the menu at Fishtails, where the Mustang is doing a couple of shifts a week.
Yep.
And she's in there, and she brought some of the meatballs back that they had from Kathy Vasallo's, the owner there, her Sunday gravy that she makes from her mother's recipe. It's very Frank Tallarico-esque, the way this stuff comes about. She brought a couple home last night. I wasn't even hungry. I bit into one, and it was like, wow, this is absolutely great. I mean, it's... they started up very early in the morning and they do the whole thing and it's great. It's right out of Goodfellas. So I recommend that. And then a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, was there and had called Sally and said, hey, I'm going to be there tonight. So I'm looking forward to seeing you. And she was sitting with some people and she introduced Mustang to the people. And sure enough, when she introduced Mustang to a woman named Val and said, this is Sally DeForest, Val spoke up and said, we have someone in common. It was your Val, Mayo.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay,
So
well
if
then-
she told you she was somewhere else last night, she was at Fishtails with a bunch of women. So
It's whatever.
you don't have
Although
to
I hear
give
it's
me
a
any
wild
spy
pickup joint,
reports.
yeah.
That's fine. I'm a little bit, I guess.
she was still a little not incensed, but sensitive about having her name brought up on the show. But Mustang did a good job for you, and she said, "Listen, I never listen to this guy anymore, and you'll find that that's the best approach." Also,
My wife does not listen to anything.
See, I was one removed because this person that you just mentioned, whose
Yeah.
name I'm not going to mention because I don't want to get in any more trouble than I already.
Yeah.
No, she's okay with me talking about her. Just
You're not gonna listen.
I got a text that said, "I just met Mayo's girlfriend."
We're all big
Let's put it that way.
I don't know if I. Well, okay, so
I don't want to put any qualifications on it, but that's how it was positioned.
last week, Val went out to dinner with one of her business associates, a builder, and when they were talking,
Victoria Martosha.
yes,
Oh, well, that's who she was with last night.
yeah. So
Okay.
Victoria is a friend of hers, and
Yeah.
she's like, I know Defo, and then Val said, I know somebody that works with Defo, and then you went from it was the
What a
Kevin
small
Bacon
world, huh?
thing
What were
where
the
it was
odds it
2
is?
degrees of separation. You
Yeah.
brought it down to 1 degree of separation, and now it's going to be 100 degrees in the shade for me because I'm
Well, Victoria is a
water,
quality
so.
person, and
Yeah.
so your lady friend, let's put it that way, your friend has good taste in people.
Yes,
I'll
she
say
does.
that.
She's a
Outside
class
of
individual.
this obvious indiscretion.
I don't
on her
know
part.
what
Yeah.
she's doing with me, but she's a
Yeah.
class individual. She's a reputable businesswoman. She has her business. Well, that's it. Not going to talk about anything. And you know what? Let me.
But
talk
anyway,
about
Mustang,
the hot
who
topic.
can be highly critical of things and people and food and all of that. I mean, she was the one that was sending the sandwich back at Myrons and making a face about everything, and so which is another reason I didn't want to further upset anybody that was there.
Even
and-
Lubie is like dying over there. He's cringing for me. Thank you.
But she said that I said, "Well, what do you think?" And she said, "Seemed like a very nice, attractive lady."
Oh, Val's great.
So, Saturday night I went to Thai Spice, maybe with a
Nice.
certain person, and
Okay, I saw that post. Yeah,
no, I didn't post about it. Oh, I
You
posted
put
a picture.
Oh,
of the steak.
maybe you sent it to me. A steak.
I did.
good,
Where I
yeah.
said I put a picture of my steak on somebody else's post, on
Okay.
Evan Darnell's post about a
Yes.
steak that he had. So I kind of did my, well, you think your steak is good? Look at my steak, and I had mine at Thai Spice, where I was for the first time a few weeks or months. It was probably about 6 weeks ago, around my
Took
birthday.
you 30 years to get there, and now
Took
you
me
love
30 years to get there. The person I went with Saturday night, who may have been named Val, also had never been there before. And
Nice.
All right.
Actually, Val was also pleasantly surprised. But it was a Saturday night. I called ahead, and when I got there, you would have thought POTUS just showed up. I mean, people are clearing ways for us at the table.
Get out of here.
Shut up, really?
And the usual owner, Michael Taunton, wasn't around. He had a rare night off, but in his place was a guy I know. He's a restaurant consultant, and he works at several good eateries around town, including your place at Cafe Max. He works there from time to time.
All right.
But his name is Tom.
Can you send him over to
House.
Myrons?
Yeah. yeah, they need some work. Tom House, a good guy. He's been a member.
Oh, Tom
of
House. Yeah, I know Tom.
Yeah,
House.
you know Tom? Yeah,
Yes.
and great longtime veteran restaurant person, and he's also an early pioneer in the Let's Eat group. He was in there among the first 1,000 or 2,000.
Wait, okay, when you called it, is this a place that needs like a reservation? Like, do you have?
Yeah, I mean, they get crowded on a Saturday night. I called at 6:30. I said, "Hey, looking for a 2-top," and I didn't say who I was. I just when they said, "Oh, if you come in here, we should be able to take care of you. What's your name?" And I said, "Mayo, just Mike Mayo." But then when we got there, there was, we had a drink at the bar and had those lovely. They have that what's it called, passion fruit martinis, which they do a
that
nice
sounds
job.
nice.
And then, Tom was kind of working back of the house, front of the house. He was kind of making sure everything was running smoothly. He saw me, recognized me right away, and within 30 seconds, I was being shown to a nice booth table. But we had a really nice meal. We had a good time, and we had a good bottle of wine there too. So it was. It turned out to be a great meal, which I always enjoy on a Saturday night. I don't know if I'm losing Defo now. Man, it's already 55 past the hour. We got to take our second break. And before we do that, the meal I had last night included something from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market.
Oh,
And
nice.
it's something that Defo, I think, would appreciate
Who's
if
lost?
we get him back.
We've lost.
Duck. I had
Oh,
family
nice.
dinner last night with Natalia, and
Nice.
it turned into a bit of an ordeal because I think there was a misjudgment on how long it would take because these ducks get roasted low and slow. And so I thought we were going to be eating at 6. Meanwhile, it turned out to be 8 o'clock. I was like, this is taking longer than the Thanksgiving turkey. And it turned into It's because these ducks were low and slow. But when they came out of the oven, oh my gosh, these whole ducks that kind of Michelle dressed up with this like a Asian hoisin sauce glaze, and it was delicious with some fried rice and some vegetables, and it was all good. And again, that's because got the fresh ducks, again, not frozen, and you just that's the kind of stuff that you get at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Quality things that you can make these great dinners, whether you're throwing things on the grill like the steaks or the pork chops, or some of the fresh fish and seafood like the grouper, snapper, Key West pink shrimp. And we went the poultry route, and I tell you what, it was fantastic. And that's why you should check out Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market when you get the chance. 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, right across from the classic Seminole Bingo Casino. And yeah, I mean, they're open 7 days. You go to DelawareChicken.com for their weekly specials and their daily offerings. It is my place to get the freshest quality ingredients when you are cooking at home. Delaware, we'll be out there again in August. We were out there. I'm losing track of the weeks. Lubie, it was a couple of weeks ago when we had a great seafood feast, and the lobster season, Florida lobster season, about to begin in the store there. They're going to be getting them August 6th and beyond, and that's going to be a real treat. You get those big, plump, sweet Florida lobster tails at Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. All right, let's take our last break, and then we'll finish up this show. It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Beach Cafe. It's a South Florida landmark, and it's one happy restaurant right on the water. Tables literally on the beach. A place where you could dip your toes in the sand, kick back, relax with island vibes, tropical drinks, and live music daily. You know it. It's at One Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea. And of course, it has Chef Chris Nealon and his famed Caribbean Floridian cuisine. With a huge menu with something for everyone. Seafood, raw bar, conch fritters, burgers, sandwiches, salads, daily specials, and of course, that famous Bimini bread. They've got a great staff that'll take great care of you. There's something to celebrate every day. Open 7 days until late. Parking available on site. Happy hour weekdays 4 to 7 p.m. Go check out more at ArubaBeachCafe.com. Better yet, go in there yourself at Aruba Beach Cafe. Good food, drinks, friends, and laughter are always the catch of the day. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the black and grilled wings, and of course the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Oh, we're back on the Lunchbox. It's already been a day. It's Monday, and I'm getting bombarded from all directions, but that's okay because, well, it's the end of another hour. Defo, your experience at that nameless deli, because we've been pounding on them, Myrons at Harrah's, it reminds me of the old Borscht Belt joke where the waiter comes up to the table and says, "Hello, ladies. Is anything okay?"
It's other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play?
Yeah,
That kind of thing.
Instead of the usual, "Is everything okay?" It's
Yeah.
"Is anything
See,
okay?"
and that's why when it's such a disaster, and like I said, it wasn't like I was forking out 300 or something for this meal. But I'm less inclined to compound the situation by also then trying to raise a stink. I
Yes.
mean, and I understand your point about okay, you should give the restaurant feedback, but they probably hear this kind of picky feedback, finicky
Well,
stuff all the time.
this isn't a little thing like, oh, the burger was a little bit
The complete
overcooked.
demise of
This
the
was
restaurant, you
the
would
whole
say,
complete.
is
Well,
worth
they should
mentioning?
just know that like nothing was good.
Nothing was
And-
good. Nothing.
And again, beyond giving the feedback to them to let them know that nothing was good is also just a curiosity of like, is something
I'm
going
thinking
on?
new chefs, new cooks
Yeah,
that
it's probably
really were badly misguided and hadn't really learned how to make the stuff yet the way that they would normally like it, which you're thinking, wow, that's a
Well,
serious lack of training.
We'll never know their excuse because you
No.
didn't ask, and I won't be going there anytime soon because I've not been playing any. Well, you know what? That's a lie. I've seen you in there a couple of times in the last months. I go in there
You
occasionally.
sneak around,
It'll
man.
be your turn. Next time you go
Yeah,
into Myrons, you'll give us the feedback of
What
why.
do I do when I go there, Defo? Remember what I did last time? What did I show up with?
What did you show up with? I don't
brings
remember.
pizza. He goes by
Disguise?
When I marched right past the decals on the door that says "No outside food and drink," carrying
Oh, you showed up with a
pizzas
pizza
from the pizza spot. And the
Very
previous
smart move,
time
by the way.
when I
I mean,
show up with
yeah.
Filipino food from that Isla Filipinas place in
That's
Fort
good.
Lauderdale.
No, and
I
that's the way to
show
treat
up
it.
with my own food when I go to that venue for a reason, because you know why? I'm smart.
You can always come in the back way. Come up
I'm
the stairs
smart.
there by the track.
No,
that would be
that's
the way to
they've
go.
shut that off. That's all
Oh, yeah?
gone.
Oh,
now.
okay. That's
all
gone.
part of the
Wow.
reconstruction. You can't sneak in the back way anymore. You have to come through those front doors
Yeah.
where the decal is prominently displayed and the security guard is right there. And you just look like you know what you're doing and that you're in a position of authority.
Yeah, they're not gonna bother you.
They say nothing.
I always told Lubie that when we were trying to sneak in places.
Always
Just
just
look like you belong.
Just look
Act
like
like you belong.
don't stop until
No.
somebody stops you.
Maybe even lodge a complaint. Hey, can you speed up the line here a little bit just as you're going through? Like just do something, say something to distract them.
Hey, there was some stuff I didn't get to, but there's always tomorrow because the big topic du jour on the Let's Eat group is about extra charges for sauce, which is something that you've alluded to in the past with your extra charge for the hot
The
mustard.
Chinese mustard.
Yeah.
That's a little
But
weak.
now there's a rebellion brewing. People are getting sick and tired of all these little tick-tack charges. It's like
Yeah.
flying Spirit Airways, where pretty soon they're going to charge you for the air you breathe in there. And
$8 for you to fly and $312 for your bag. No
Just
matter
buy
what,
clothes when you get there.
how little you have in it, for sure.
just that's
All
what I
right,
do.
Mike Mayo, I would tell you to have the tuna melt next time you're at Myrons because you like
I'm
to
not
say
doing
enjoy every
anything
sandwich.
except matzo ball soup. Matzo
All right.
ball soup at Myrons is the play. And always follow my tips for ordering and whatnot because, as I've said before, Defo, I'm not always right, just 95% of the time. So,
In this case, I mean, you're attaching two arguments together here that are really of separate nature.
So what do we got this week? Tomorrow we're at home. We'll do another hour of this nonsense. And then Wednesday we're going to be at Union Kitchen and Bar to help usher in the Dine Out Lauderdale month. A great month indeed. Thursday we're going to be tentatively at Wicked Cheesesteaks. I have not touched base with Brian, but hopefully everything is good on
Too long.
his home front, and his mom is doing better. I've got to reach out, and hopefully we'll be there Thursday up in Fort Lauderdale on Federal Highway, North Federal Highway. Friday, our favorite spot. Well, they're all favorite spots. Our favorite Friday place to be, Gulfstream Park, where you'll find things to your satisfaction. And their menu there, man, they've really kicked it up. Joe Beja deserves every
That's
promotion.
the direction to go in if you're at a casino.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, all their food. And now they put the breakfast stuff on the menu. I love that. The smoked salmon Benedict they have there at 10 Palms. Congratulations to Barbara Klein, a repeat winner. When you're good, you're good. If you know how to pick horses and you know restaurant names, you're going to have a shot to be successful, as opposed to me, who is now having agita because I probably ate some leftover pad thai for breakfast, but we won't talk about that. Guys, have a good day. And until tomorrow, it's Mike Mayo for Jeff Defo DeForest, Mike Lubie Lubitz saying, remember to enjoy every sandwich.